Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Nurul Hidayah binti Rasmi. Well, today I will present my final year project report, which is the impact of the COVID-19 pandemic on tourism and turtle landing on Perhentian Island. For the current issues, the population and species of turtles has been declining in the previous year. Thus, this makes the country's treasure is declining because there are only 2 species of turtles left in Pulau Perhentian. Thus, this phenomenon is very worrying because it can threaten the ecosystem and make it unbalanced. Finally, this incident can affect marine parks, coral reef, and even fish playground as well as reduce our food resources due to the depletion of seaweed, which is the turtle food chain. Especially green turtles, which are the only species that always return to Perhentian Island every 3 years to lay eggs, while the second highest species, namely hawksbill. Hawksbill turtles are critically endangered and their population are declined throughout their range. For the problem statement, according to the data that has been recorded from Perhentian Turtle Project, which is as known as PTP, it is proven that the pandemic has affected the population and the numbers of turtles that come to land on the east coast for our country. The problem statement of this case is what is the effect or impact of a pandemic on turtle landings in a year. This is because there is a change in the pattern of turtle populations that came to migrate to the Perhentian Island Terengganu, east coast of our country after pandemic. For the objective, there are 3 main objectives, which is the first one is to determine the green turtles landing hotspot along the coastal of Pulau Perhentian, Terengganu. The second one is to investigate factors affecting green turtles landing in Pulau Perhentian. And the last one is to analyze the relationship between green turtles landing and factors that affecting green turtles landing during pandemic in Pulau Perhentian. So, for the methodology, the first one for the objective number 1, to determine the green turtles landing hotspot along the coastal of Pulau Perhentian Terengganu, I contact and gather all the information through rangers who monitor the coastal area and record the types of areas where turtles often land and lay their eggs within a year. This is to identify the ideal area for turtles to land and the type of environment suitable for the turtles landing on the island. For the objective number 2, to investigate factors affecting green turtles landing in Pulau Perhentian, I have provided a survey form to turtle conservation organizations that are still active in the Perhentian Island area, such as Perhentian Turtle Project, PTP Sendirian Berhad. This study is for the purpose of academic learning as well as to find out the behavior of turtles and the attitude of tourists who come there when they meet the turtles. For objective number 3, to analyze the relationship between green turtles landing and factors that affecting turtle landing during the pandemic in Pulau Perhentian, we will use Pearson correlation analysis. When the statistical data were collected through SPSS software and we wanted to measure the frequency of turtle landings and the factor influencing green turtle landing during the outbreak and the number of tourists and also their behavior. So this is the data of tourists that came to the Terengganu from 2014 until 2018. Next is the green turtles landing hotspot in year 2016 until 2021 in Perhentian Island. So the first one was at 3 ruang tengah. Second one was at 3 ruang besar. Third one was at 3 ruang menangis. The fourth one was at 3 ruang teras, followed by Pinang Seribu, Tanjung Butong, Panglima Abu, Long Beach, Tiga Ruang, Bubble Beach, and the last one is Tanjung Tukas. There are 11 nesting locations for the green turtles. So next is the survey form that I conduct on the staff of the Perhentian Turtle Project on Perhentian Island regarding the information on the behavior of the public, tourists, and the state of the environment when turtles land on the beach. So this figure shows that there are 6 important and experienced respondents from the Perhentian Turtle Project company, which include a hatchery, ranger, interns, and project manager. So for the discussion, from the results I obtained through SPSS software, the significance is about 0.316, which is less than 0.5. This means that the number of tourists visiting Perhentian Island is not a major factor in this problem, but maybe other factors can be main cause of this problem. For example, it may be human behavior that causes an increase and decrease in the number of green turtles, such as picnic activities, riding jet ski, riding motorboats, where all these activities can pollute the environment and cause the water and sea pollution. This is not good for the turtles to come and land on the beach, and the baby turtles may die due to waste and plastic waste thrown by humans all over the island. So for the overall, we can see that this decision should be guided by other perspectives, such as the attitude and behavior humans toward turtle if they encounter turtles either on land, when the turtles land, or when the turtles are in the water. So the graph shows the result of the number of tourists and the number of turtle landing. The red line indicates the number of tourists, while the blue one indicates for the number of turtle landing. What can be seen from the correlation in the chart graph above, the fewer tourists, the more turtles land on Perhentian Island. This being the case, human presence become a manipulation and variable to the number of turtles that land. Thus, here we can measure the number of turtle landing based on the number of tourists arriving at Pulau Perhentian in the state of Terengganu. So, for the conclusion, studies that I found from my final year project, green turtles will always land on Perhentian Island once in every 3 years to lay their eggs. In addition, the number of tourists arriving on the island is not the main factor in the increase and decrease of turtle landings, but there are other factors that influence the pattern of changes in the number of turtle landing on the coast of Perhentian Island. So my recommendations are that we should take turtles and tourist data every month and year in order to get more accurate results. In addition, we can also make a map chart where the hotspot areas where turtles often land and hatch their eggs can be seen more clearly. This can be done with more sophisticated software. In addition, through the Google survey that I conduct, I found that most respondents want to tighten the laws of sea law and marine park so that this turtle can be protected by the appropriate parties and organizations. They also suggested making an awareness program so that people know about the way of turtles live. Thank you.